Hello! So I have been doing some updates on my website recently and I realized that I needed a new backup. Now the reason you back up your website before you make any updates with your plugins, with your themes or anything, is because if you've got too many different systems talking to each other from different services like WooCommerce or like an SEO plugin, even just a gallery plugin, so it shows like your images in a certain way with a certain set of overlays and clicky buttons that you like, then they don't all necessarily communicate with each other inherently. So if you end up with a clash, your whole website could crash and you don't know what's wrong. And if you've updated without a backup, you have no way to really retrieve that. Now there's loads of ways people do backups. You can have your hosting provider like automatically include it in your package. You could get a plugin, which is the one I prefer. I use something called All-in-One WP Migration and Backups, but I had an issue with that the other day because apparently my server didn't have enough storage on it, my disk space. So my hosting package is with Siteground and they're amazing. I've had very few issues with them. Their customer service is very prompt and the documentation is very useful, but it's not a flawless system. I'm currently on like a shared server, so my website has 20 gigabytes of storage, and when I migrated over, I actually realized that I had my old backup of my website from my old hosting provider still there, and that was basically causing me to have almost double the amount of disk space used that I needed. So I contacted customer service, asked if I still needed those files because I thought I was good. I've not had my previous provider for over a year and I've been chugging along just fine. So can I delete these? Will I be safe? And they were like, yes, it totally is. And my customer service guy was like, by the way, your website looks really cool and it's well designed. And I'm like, do you care? Do you say that to everyone? I don't really know why you would care. Are you trying to get a 5-star review? Like, I'm going to give you the 5-star review anyway, guy, if you solve my issue. You don't need to butter me up. But it's a nice compliment. But we determined that I could delete that stuff, and he recommended that I delete it through FTP, which I don't actually know what it stands for. I'm going to Google what it stands for. File Transfer Protocol. There we go. So my FTP client Filezilla is something that they had a tutorial for, so I downloaded it and it was really simple. And I'm going to show you another way that you can actually complete a backup with Filezilla, because maybe that's easier for people, you don't want to do it. So I skipped a step there. So because I thought I didn't have enough disk space, I couldn't export it from my old plugin. But then I did delete the old website through FTP and it was still apparently not having enough disk space, so it's more to do with the write speed or some other kind of process that I've not looked into because I'm not like a full developer or anything. I just know how to follow tutorials and ask for help. So it's probably something to do with a limitation they've set on that server package for hosting because they don't want to give you too many resources. You're sort of sharing them with the general public who want to pay less. And I may in the future upgrade because it gives you unlimited websites and I want to have another website for my other brand in the future, but I'm not in a rush for that. So I'm happy with the package I have, especially because once I deleted what is effectively a duplicate website, I now have about 8 gigabytes of disk space in use out of my 20, so I'm not even halfway to filling it up and I don't particularly want to upgrade for that. So I'm going to talk to tech support soon to ask what was the hold up on using my plugin. It's probably just like you got too big a chunk in one go to export in one go. We'll release that cap, and it's the same like way that you have an issue with not having enough space to supposedly upload a single video to your media library, but you actually can. It's just a limitation set on your hosting account. So when I sort that, that'll be fine. But today I wanted to back up my website so I could update all my plugins and my themes. I just realized my heater is still on. I really hope that that wasn't too audible in the background. I've turned it off now, so once it calms down and cools down, then we'll be fine. So I went on to Filezilla and I opened it up. Okay, so we're going to websites, site tools. See, this is the disk space I'm using, so I'm getting better with that. Is it on site, I believe? Sites, here we go. FTP accounts, and these are my existing accounts. But what you would do originally is you would get an account name, just put your name or whatever you want to call it to remember yourself, and then you create a password, make sure it's a password you remember, then you create the credential. It's a different account, different credentials. This is the guy who's helped me in the past. He was pretty cool. You create it, and then you click on these 3 dots, and then FTP credentials. That's the box that will pop up. Honestly, actually, that's fine because it doesn't show you the password. These are the credentials that you put in to your Filezilla up here. So host, username, password, port. And then it shows you the local site, which is your device. This is currently the backup I'd already made. And then the remote site is your website that you're logged into. You click the quick connect button after you put it in, by the way. Don't forget that part, else you won't actually be connected. It'll tell you if there's an error. If there is, I'm not here to solve that error for you. That's a different thing. If it works, you can choose wherever you want on your device to put it. You could put it in downloads. Some people recommend desktop because it's easy to find. Right click, create directory, and I think it's easier if you say create directory and enter it, because then you'll like see where it is, and then it'll take you to the inside of the directory, and this is where it's going to be. You go to your website, your remote site, you get the master folder, which for me is just a backslash, and then you right click and click download, and it will immediately go to the folder you've selected on your local device. It will then take a lot of processes depending on how busy your website is. Mine was in excess of 75 million processes. It took about 40 minutes to finish. But maybe your website's more efficient than mine, it might take less time. Maybe your laptop's worse than mine, it'll take more time. Just deal with it. And then once that's done, you will have a backup on your device like I have here. Now this is the format that my plugin created, and I like this one. Nice and simple, and you can just upload it back to the plugin and open it. So we're gonna go back to that soon. There's one I created, and then there's another one I've got where I use the plugin, but I went into the advanced export settings to get segments because it's actually a slower, because supposedly it's fine to like break it up and segment it. So I tried to get different versions with excluding different types of files, so I should have every type of file available, but I'm really paranoid about it. Like, what's the gig? So that's like megabytes. That's 6 gigabytes, so that's most of the website. That's a few megabytes, that's a few megabytes, megabytes. So like most of it was megabytes. It's just this one that's like gigabytes, and that's like pretty similar but slightly below the old backup I had, which included my duplicate old website. So I feel like that number's correct. I'm just really paranoid about it. And then here's a backup I've already created with this system, and that one is copying over for the next day for immediately before I did my updates, and that's like another thing. And you can see that the file size is similar again. That backup's actually got 23 gigabytes, so I don't know what's happened there. It feels like it's multiplied a few times, but that's the point. I've got like multiple different versions of backups in case something goes wrong. And these are new systems for me, except for the one where I use the plugin. So I'm just going to talk to tech support and fix that, because you can't do better than tech support. So when that's done, you will be fine. And if you ever want to enact a backup, you take it from the local file that you have set up, you delete what is on your remote server, and then you just copy paste, and your website should be back to where it was before you completed the updates. I hope that was useful for you. Please like, comment, subscribe. It would be awesome if you watch some of my other videos, because watch time is the thing that we worry about most in this channel. So thank you. Goodbye.